here's a guy who would understand my red alert on the Enterprise reference. It's fellow Trekker James Mennie, reporter, columnist, editor at the Montreal Gazette. Hi, James.
I'm good. How you doing, Trudie?
I am just fine.
Yeah, but you know what? If you want me to continue with that Starfleet metaphor, I've noticed that a lot of these alerts that are being issued by Environment Canada really require a long-range scan, because what appears to be a squadron of Klingon battlecruisers turns out to be like a flock of seagulls, right? A lot of this stuff and I'm not saying, folks, I'm not saying stand down, okay? By all means, be prepared. Freezing rain is freezing rain. But in many cases, we have had alerts for 20 centimeters of snow, when it's like maybe dusting of 5 centimeters, whatever. Bottom line, and I speak to those of you who gather around, the campfire every night. Remember those days before there was a thing called the internet. If you really want to know what to do on any given day concerning the weather, look out your damn window. That's a really, really good way to start your day and decide which way. And of course, listen to the traffic report on CJAD 800.
That's it. That's what you got to do. Good advice from James.
You like that?
Yes, I do. Now, let's talk about Parliament Hill, because I see this headline here that you're suggesting a Liberal majority in Ottawa by April 13th, question mark?
I'd say the odds aren't that bad, Trudie.
Okay, so
there are 3 by-elections that are going to be happening that day. 2 are in Toronto area. They're safe Liberal seats. One is to replace Chrystia Freeland, who went to go work for that nice Vladimir Zelensky. The other is to replace Bill Blair, who was a Liberal cabinet minister as well, who's been named High Commissioner to the UK. I'd say the odds are pretty good, given as well the way that Carney is moving at warp speed through the polls, that indeed they will be kept within the Liberal fold. Terrebonne, that crazy, impossible federal riding, that was won, we thought, by 1 vote, but in fact, the Supreme Court said, you know what, there's just so much wrong with this. 1 vote and this other vote didn't get counted. It got lost in the mail. You know what, do it over. And we can say, okay, fine, I guess it's 50-50 again, but a lot's happened since then, of course. We have a situation where Quebecers, who are actually paying attention to this, are seeing that Mark Carney is the most popular politician of any stripe in Quebec. The government looks like it's there to stay, and believe me, if it turns out Terrebonne turned around and voted Liberal and gave the government the albeit 1-seat majority, I'm pretty sure they would not be looked upon with a jaundiced eye from Ottawa, was that to happen. The other thing, of course, is that because the other 2 ridings, how can I put it, seem to be relatively safe, a lot of the resources, the blood and treasure, if you will, of the Federal Liberal Party can be devoted to Terrebonne, making sure that the next time they win, should they win, it'll be by more than just 1 vote. And don't forget, you and I were talking about this survey last week. I believe that in Quebec, the Federal Liberals are polling somewhere at 42% compared with the Bloc Québécois at 25%. So you know what? I get the feeling that if nothing else, that marvelous concept in sports known as momentum is certainly helping out the Federal Liberals. Obviously, we'll see what happens on April 13th, but so far so good. So if I was a betting man, and as most listeners know on this show, Trudie, I am, I would put my money on a Liberal majority by the morning of April 14th.
Well, now that you put it that way, I think you may be right. I'll vote with you.
Okay.
Let's talk about Donald Trump, because to your mind, whether we like it or not, Donald Trump has changed the fundamentals of Quebec politics.
Absolutely. I mean, you take a long, hard look at what's going on. Normally, we'd be having the usual 50-year-old feud between separatists and federalists and so-called nationalists, who I always define as separatists who are too chicken to call a referendum. But all that said, Trump and the threat and the chaos, the uncertainty, certainly has really put the boots to any kind of attempt to put sovereignty back on the map on the part of Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon, the leader of the Parti Québécois. And it's also really brought into sharp focus just how, I won't say handcuffed, but to a certain extent, just how impotent Quebec and indeed Canada are compared to the U.S. economy, because we are, despite the best efforts of Mark Carney or anybody else, we remain the DNA of both economies is so meshed. It's going to be very, very difficult to untangle them. But even now, I heard you talking to our correspondent earlier about, Mark Carney's the end of the week he's gone to Norway. Mark Carney, I think, has made it clear. I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty, to say, over where he stands on Iran. I think it would be difficult to figure out where to stand on Iran when the people who are trying to blow it to hell don't exactly know what they're doing from day to day. As I speak to you, I think Trump's press conference is just wrapping up, where he made a cryptic reference to having talked to Vladimir Putin, and maybe this war will be over sooner rather than later, which I just find, more of the same. But in the meantime, if you were looking for some message, I think the message is very clear that for a priority, Mark Carney is going to be making sure that Canadian sovereignty in the Arctic, which has been neglected for generations, never mind decades, is going to be restored to a certain extent. I think that's clear. And once again, we have survey after survey after survey that shows this is what people want. So I'm kind of amused by the fact that the emergency debate on the Iranian war, which was called by the Liberals themselves, will not be attended by the Prime Minister. So, just read what you will into that. Is it political theater? Is it just allowing the NDP and the Conservatives and the Bloc to blow off steam? Or say something perhaps that might be of political use to the Liberals? We'll see what happens. But I just find that a bit odd, especially, the chaos with the tariffs is bad enough, but in a so-called military campaign where lives are being taken and we really don't know what's going on, other than the price of gas is going up. I think the best thing to do is keep your mouth shut. Watch the door, keep your back to a wall, keep your mouth shut, watch the door, and see what happens day to day. But to turn around and say, well, this will be our policy on Iran, I think it might be a tad premature to do that.
All right. James Mennie, thanks very much.
Demand.
The newest tracks. Let's go. New music. And the next big thing.
Always on the new music first.
Your first place to hear it all.
'Cause you gon' like it, love it, wanna play it twice. Playing now.
iHeart New Music. Your digital station for brand new drops, fresh finds, and tomorrow's bangers.
I think we need something new.
Discover iHeart New Music. Always fresh, always first. Stream now on the free iHeartRadio app.